will thoroughly enjoy this book. And I'm usually not wrong. Just saying. What's up, nerds? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie. If you're new here, hope your day is going well. And today I thought we would just like accept that something has happened. First of all, these are fake, and I am not used to them. Little tippity tap. And so we're just gonna not acknowledge the fact that I put these on and then decided the BB-8 shirt was gonna stay, even though it doesn't fit with this video concept at all. Because these are fake, they're press-ons, and I don't think I can actually change outfits at this point because I can't do anything with these. That out of the way, let's actually talk about the video. So I watched Bridgerton, as many people did when it came out, and I thoroughly enjoyed. Did I lose a nail? No, I didn't. Okay, we're good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually was a big Jane Austen fan growing up, and Bridgerton has that kind of Regency romance, period drama-esque quality to it. I've read many of them in my time. They're not my biggest, like, I don't read a lot of them all that often, and I wasn't even planning on reading the books at all, but watch out for my wrap-up. I've stumbled in on them and I have read a few. But this video is going to be based on the show, just the show and only the show. So what I'm going to be doing, per the title, is basing a book recommendation on your favorite Bridgerton sibling. So these are going to be based on the show's siblings. And as you've probably know, if you've watched the show or read the books, the Bridgerton siblings number about 8 in total, and they're named alphabetically, and each one of them has their own storyline. But I'm basing it off of only the first season of the show. So let's just, further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it, shall we? If these are annoying, if my like hand gestures are annoying anyone, don't feel bad. They're also annoying me. Start off with Anthony. He is the oldest Bridgerton, and he's kind of a putz. Gotta be real with you guys, this is not gonna be a strong start to this video because I honestly don't feel like I've got a good book recommendation for the people that like Anthony the most out of all of the characters. He's just got so much ennui and like angst going on, so I kind of just supplied that with this recommendation. Drawn to like angsty ennui stories, and I think that he's definitely more of a literary fiction baddie, if you know what I'm saying, maybe like Sally Rooney energy. But I'm gonna go with One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This is definitely an angst-filled story following a girl who moves to New York, and she ends up meeting this person on the train, on the subway, and then you kind of find out that this person who is locked on the train, or is on the train that the main character keeps meeting, is stuck there, like in time and space, and there's so much angst and there's so much yearning, and I feel like Anthony stans would probably really like this. I honestly cannot wait to see the new season. I am thrilled, as a matter of fact, to see that. It's just not a typical trope that I do reach for, so I am going to recommend this one for my Anthony fans. Okay, so the next character that we're going to get into is Benedict. Benedict is the second sibling. He is also probably the most artsy, the most creative, so to speak. And he also has this plot line in the show where he kind of comes off like they might be steering him in more of a LGBTQ direction, but I think that they might not go and dedicate to that, which is unfortunate. But I think that if you do like Benedict, you probably really like that storyline because that's most of his storyline in the first season. And so knowing that, and knowing that Benedict is your favorite character, I'm going to recommend Eloise by Erin Morgenstern. This is a book that follows someone I haven't read in a while. This follows a character named Zachary. He's, I want to say, like a college student who is studying arts and things, and he gets kind of swept up in a fantastical world, and there's a lot of secret societies and angst and yearning, and just like that's going to be a running theme because that's most of Regency romance drama characters. If you like Regency romance, you probably like angst, but this one is definitely more on the scale that Benedict has. It's just so much more creative and so much more romantic, and I think if you get it, you get it. If you haven't read this and you like Benedict, you should check it out. I'm not going to go into much depth about the storyline, mostly because I can't remember all that much, but it's such a vibe, you know? It's a vibe. And I don't like this cover. I really don't like this cover. I want the beautiful cover from the UK. I want that cover. All right, so now moving on, we have Colin. He is the third Bridgerton brother, and I do love the fact that when I watched this originally, the first season, the first time I watched it, I was like, why does it look like the first three guys are all like copy pasted from each other? But apparently that's just a long running thing. They're all supposed to look really similar, and these three dudes look like the same guy, like just with varying degrees of sideburns, and that good on the casting for that, because that they nailed that shit. But Colin is definitely more of a youthful energy. He's charismatic, he's very charming, he's very funny, but he's also not the brightest in the bunch. And for this, I couldn't quite recommend anything other than my girl, Gideon the Ninth. So this is by Tamsin Muir. This is one of my all-time favorite books. I recommend it constantly. It's not for everyone though. So Gideon the Ninth is basically lesbian necromancers in space. And Gideon is this character who is stuck on this kind of planet-esque place. And she just wants to get the fuck out of Dodge, you know? She wants to get out. But then she's told by the like princess of this like place that if she wants to leave, she has to accompany the princess to this like kind of game situation where the princess is like, when I, you know, basically elevate to this specific type of rank, you can go free. And Gideon's like, that doesn't sound like a bad plan. Sure, why not? And you know, there's many elements of Gideon's character where it's quite clear that she's just a little bit oblivious to things going on around her. And I think that if you like Colin, you probably either like that about him or you yourself are oblivious to things around you. Like, i.e., someone who really likes you. So that's just, you know, just a thing. And now we have our first lady, and her name is Daphne. I don't like her. And if you like her, that's okay. That's on you. I think there's obvious reasons not to like her, but that's just me. You can like her. But if I were to recommend a book based on Daphne, I would have to talk about the fact that she has a very idealized view of the world. She lives in a very plushy bubble, and you know, good for her. She has the things, like she wants the things that she's wanted her entire life, and she just assumes that she's gonna get them, which is, you know, a vibe. So I'm gonna go ahead and recommend a book that I just think is a perfect vibe, a perfect idealized version of the world that just doesn't really acknowledge other things going on in the world. So that book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Sorry, this is tilted so it's not like immediately shining in your face. I probably just blinded you, my bad. So The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is once again a very talked about book on all of the platforms. But this follows Addie. She is a woman who basically sold her soul to the devil, kind of, so that she could live forever. And the devil's like, sure, you can do that, but what I'm gonna do is no one's going to remember you. They're gonna see you, meet you, turn around, and then have completely forgotten you. No one will be able to remember you. This book to me felt like a mimosa brunch. Like, it was so luxurious, it was so beautifully written. But as kind of concerns have come out, Addie lives for a good 300-ish years, and she goes to like 2 different places, Paris and Brooklyn. Like, there's not a lot of context for anything else that's happening in the world, and I definitely think that that was a choice made to keep this book as fluffy and lighthearted as possible. And albeit, it's obviously about the devil, so it's not super lighthearted, and obviously Daphne does go through shit in her particular season. But I do think that this book follows a very lighthearted path when it could go incredibly dark. And I think that if you like Daphne, you probably will thoroughly enjoy this book. And I'm usually not wrong. Just saying. I know that was cocky, but like, what can I do? I'm the book pusher. I'm gonna give you book recommendations. If you don't like it, why are you watching the video, I guess? All right, so let's get on to the next character, and it is Eloise, and I am biased. This is my favorite character. She's just intelligent, she's sarcastic, she just is in everyone's business. And let's be real, this is just, I'm describing myself, so I guess I just have to recommend you one of my favorite books. All right, so a little switcheroo. I am going to recommend one of my favorite books, and it's going to be one that I think that if you like Eloise, you would definitely like this book. Well, obviously, that's the point of the fucking video, Maddie. It's Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. So I don't know if I've recently talked about this in a video. I did it in my wrap up. But this is probably the first time I've gotten to recommend this book in a video. This is about Vanya. This is a retelling of the Goose Girl story, if you don't know. Basically a princess or a lady goes to marry someone, and on the way, her maid basically is like, I'm taking your job. Go away. So Vanya is impersonating a lady in this high society, but she's also a thief. Obviously she's a thief. She stole the princess's whole, shit. But this is a very in-depth kind of retelling of that world, and there's just so many cool elements of it. And I definitely think that, if you're an Eloise stan, you would love this because the world is very detailed and it's based on folklore, but it's not super mystical. And there's also this detective character who's I like him a lot. I think Eloise would like him as well. So if you like Eloise and if you trust my opinion, I guess here, you should check this out. I'm just saying. Shout out to Rachel for giving me the recommendation on that book. All right, now we have Francesca. So basing this only on the show, I know zero things about Francesca. She's in 2 scenes tops in the whole show. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this as a freebie, basically. And we're gonna just recommend another book that I haven't recommended in a while on this channel. And that is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. This is a fucking standout book, and I don't feel like people have been talking about it, mostly because it doesn't have its sequel out yet. But if you haven't read this, or if you haven't read anything by N.K. Jemisin, you need to change that. And if you're on my channel, I'm using Francesca as a freebie. I don't honestly know if she's your favorite character. If you like this or not, because I can't really tell what her character is. But this is basically about the 5 boroughs of New York City becoming 5, 6, I don't know how many boroughs there are in New York City, my bad. They basically get embodied into actual people so that they can fight this interdimensional demon thing. It's insanely well written. I cannot wait for the sequel. I just fucking read it, okay? Read it. That's all I gotta say on that one. So there are 2 more kids. I'm going to just bunch them together. It's Gregory and Hyacinth, because in the show, they're children. So if these are your favorite characters, no, they're not, you're lying. No one would pick the kids out of all of the characters to be their favorite. So if these for some reason are your favorite from the show and you happen to be 12, I can, or maybe even younger, 8, I don't know. I can recommend you a singular book, because I don't read middle grade, I don't read kids books anymore. It's been a minute, but I can recommend a book that you would probably like if you want to recommend something to a kid that likes the Bridgerton show. And that is Harriet the Spy. If memory serves me here, I haven't read this book since I was a wee bean myself. This follows Harriet, who snoops a lot. She is in everyone's business, and she writes it down in a composition notebook, and she gets in trouble for it, obviously. But if you like this show and you happen to be of a younger age, you might also like this book. And I don't think people talk about it very much online anymore, so that's gonna be what we're gonna recommend. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know down below in the comments. I have some other shows and things that I think I wanna recommend based on the characters, based on your favorite character, giving you a specific book recommendation. So if you like this video, let me know. I'll keep doing this. But otherwise, I'm gonna go now, guys. Subscribe, all the good stuff. Bye!